I remember when I first met her, I called her G.I. Jane. She was wearing that tank top and army fatigue. Some cute little tight shorts. A little buff. I said, G.I. Jane. Then after I got talking to her more and noticing she's much active as me, I said, G.I. Mary Jane. Shit.
America's public enemy number one in the United States is drug abuse. In order to fight and defeat this enemy, it is necessary to wage a new all-out offensive. I have asked the Congress to provide the legislative authority and the funds to fuel this kind of an offensive.
One nonviolent citizen is approached by police and taken off the streets by force and threat of violence every 50 seconds in America. When the only victims created in these situations are the people being arrested, then it's not an arrest, it's a kidnapping. It's not a raid, it's a violent home invasion, and you are not a criminal. We advocate for the victims, standing on the side of personal freedom in a drug war we didn't sign up for. This is The War Room with G.I. Mary Jane.
And this is me still in complete disbelief that every day, one person every 50 seconds in this, the freest country in America, gets approached by police over, not over an act of violence, not over creating a victim, not over theft, but over the possession of a substance. I call them victims of prohibition, and so should you too. Our latest, unfortunately, and not the latest, you know, this story came out back in January 2013, I'm sorry, January 13th, 2021. I am so backwards because of all this. You know, and I read about it. I read man gets killed by police, and of course that sparked my interest, unfortunately, because it happens entirely too often in this country. But when I read it, it claimed that the man tried to run police over with his vehicle. So I waited to see what happens because, you know, running a human being over with a vehicle, that's definitely not something that I will ever co-sign on. I just want to make that clear. That is an act of aggression. I am somebody who follows the NAP in my daily life. The NAP is the non-aggression principle, and to run somebody over your vehicle would be an absolute act of non-aggression, and to act in defense would make sense. However, just yesterday, it came out that that was not the case. Surprise, surprise. You guys, feel free to tune in before I go any further. If you're watching on my personal page, I can't see your comments. So you're going to have to head on over to G.I. Mary Jane, facebook.com/GIMJ420 in order to comment. We're not streaming on YouTube right now because, I don't know, possibly, maybe I should be, but I'm not. Anywho, I'm getting away with myself here, away from myself. It came out that this man did not, in fact, try to run police over with his vehicle. He did not commit the first act of aggression, and quite honestly, it was exactly the opposite that happened. You guys see, the first act of aggression was made by police officers. I can't even make this shit up. This guy was sleeping in his car with, you know, his window cracked because it's springtime in humid Delaware. And next thing you know, he's woken up being literally poked with a stick. Swear, you can't make this stuff up. Officers then noticed weed in his car, told him to get out, told him they were going to pull him out, and he left. He was not being detained. There was no arrest going on. He wasn't committing a crime, and I've got news for you. Citizens, you are allowed to leave peacefully if you are not being detained, which is exactly what Lymond Moses did. Unfortunately, Lymond Moses lost his life for it. We've got some viewers tuning in already. Benjamin Bengal says Leary20.org. Benjamin, you're going to have to let me know what that's all about. Speaking of .coms and .orgs, if you would like to read the story of what happened to Lymond Moses, you can head on over to platoon420.com and make sure you register. Take the pledge. First name, last name, email. I'm only going to hit you guys up twice a month. And if there's any breaking story, yesterday I shot out a warning when this video was released. It's something that the public really needs to see. And in fact, the police officers redacted the beginning of the altercation. So that's kind of frustrating in and of itself. But before I go any further and we look at this body cam footage, and I want you guys to chime in on this. You know, I really want to have a discussion on what you think. I've been seeing so many conflicting opinions since this was released yesterday. Right or wrong, the loss of a life is never something that we celebrate, especially when it's at the hands of police and over weed. In 2021, this is the world we live in. So this one's for you, Lymond Moses. May your family find justice. I had a graphic there, it didn't come up. We'll upload it for later. But let's see, we've got, okay, you guys are watching. I wanted to make sure people tuned in. Kim Fogelman is watching. Kim's son just got out of jail, plant prisoner for how many years, Kim? I'm so happy that Adam's home. I saw that you guys were out and about enjoying the first day of spring today, and I'm so happy that you were able to do that you were able to be reunited with your family. Unfortunately, the family of Lymond Moses will never be able to see him again. I spent some time on his personal Facebook page, and it got me kind of choked up. So we're going to, I'm going to put my handy-dandy earphone in for this. We are going to take a peek at what ensued on September the 13th in Wilmington, Delaware, when Lymond Moses was woken up suddenly. He was just sleeping, you guys. He was literally just sleeping. That's it. He was sleeping. Incredible. All right. I am going to warn you guys. We are going to get ready to watch some pretty disturbing footage. It's about 10 minutes long. Bear with me. I'm going to be talking and commenting through what we're about to see. I want you guys to do the same, and I'll do my best to keep up. I'm working sans producer again, and as usual. But I'll do my best to keep up and keep your voices involved in the discussion. But here's what happened on January 13th in Wilmington, Delaware, to Lymond Moses. They're literally poking him with a stick through his window, guys. Bear with me. Let me pause here for a moment. I don't know if you guys are getting the sound on that end. Can you guys let me know if you're hearing the sound on that video before I finish here? I had a problem with this earlier, and you know, I got it to play, and now it doesn't seem like it is. Let me try one more thing here. Rather frustrating. There it is. All right, you guys, sorry about that. Let's try this one more time. Again, January 13th, Wilmington, Delaware. Lymond Moses was sleeping peacefully in his vehicle out front of his mother's house when all of a sudden police pulled up to his vehicle, and we're gonna watch what happens next here.
Is advised.
You guys noticed the police redacted the beginning of the audio in this video. That's why I was waiting to see if it was going to come up for us. So basically they released the footage. But didn't want us to hear what's going on until now.
Huh? County Police, I saw you sleeping in here, man.
What? Make sure you're alright, man.
My mom live right here.
You're sleeping with the car and drive.
Bro, my mom live right here. Why are you walking up like...
You don't need to scream, man. We're just trying to help you out.
I'm okay. My mom live right here. We're just out here, man, looking for stolen cars. We see you sleeping and you got weed sitting right there.
There's weed all over, man.
Bro, I'm not... My car not stolen.
There it is. You guys heard that, right? We just want to make sure you're okay. We saw you sleeping, and we see that there's weed right there. Now, before we go on, I want to go back to 2017 or 18. I want to say it was late 17, and the case was heard in 2018 when a 19-year-old girl, gosh, maybe she was even 17, in New York City was hanging out with her friends, parked in a parking lot somewhere. Officers approached her, and same scene. Ma'am, we see weed. You need to come with us. When she was in the back of that paddy wagon, those officers continued to gang rape her. This isn't a joke. Those officers got acquitted because in the state of New York, and this law has changed because of this case, in the state of New York at the time, once you were in custody, you technically consent to anything, including rape. That's the God's honest truth. And I wish I'd done my homework better before I went live to figure out what the rule in Delaware is. But here we are, once again, a man sleeping in his vehicle, just sleeping, just sitting there. And police approach him, and we're going to rewind that a little bit.
County Police, I saw you sleeping in here, man.
What? Make sure you're alright, man.
My mom live right here.
You're sleeping with the car and drive.
Bro, my mom live right here. Why are you walking up like...
You don't need to scream, man. We're just trying to help you out.
I'm okay. My mom live right here. We're just out here, man, looking for stolen cars. We see you sleeping and you got weed sitting right there.
There's weed all over, man.
Bro, I'm not... My car not stolen.
Nobody said it was. We just said that's why we're out here.
That's why we're out here. We're looking for stolen cars.
All right, so why would we bring up stolen cars?
Right here.
I'm gonna just pull them out.
First of all,
hop out for me real quick, man.
Don't cooperate. Okay, this is very easy.
If it's just weed, we don't give a shit.
Don't reach, man. Just hop up real quick.
It's all...
All right, so the officer said it right there. If it's just weed, we don't give a shit about that. But then he's asked to step out of his vehicle. Right there, ladies and gentlemen, when he opens the car door, when the officer opens the car door, that's a big no-no. I'm going to advise everybody who's watching the same thing that my Baltimore City police officer father advised me way longer ago than I want to admit, because I really don't feel like revealing my age right now. But keep your doors locked. These guys do not have permission to enter your vehicle without a warrant or without probable cause. And right now they have no probable cause because they just admitted that they don't care about the weed. Yet they open his doors anyway. And they tell him to get out. You can hear Lymond Moses start to have a bit of a panic attack right there. I mean, you can hear him start to breathe heavy, and this terrifies me. Like I imagine my own son just sleeping on the side of the road because he's had a hard day, or for whatever reason. Maybe he's just traveling and he feels like sleeping on the side of the road. We can do that. We live in a free country. And all of a sudden he's literally getting poked by a stick. His door is being opened, and men with guns are right there telling him to get out of his car. You take the badge off of that man right there, I would tell my son to flee for his life, which is exactly what Lymond Moses did. This is so far, I'm getting ahead of myself. Shh, Joey, shush. Back to the footage. I'm going to leave this up so you guys can see my reaction if you care to.
Okay, do me a favor, just hop out for me, man. Yo.
Let me leave. No officers in front of his car. Everybody's safe. Nobody gets hurt. May have been quickly, but it was a peaceful exit, and he was not being detained. You have the right to leave peacefully when you are not being detained.
Suspicious vehicle, Rosemont Avenue, East 27. Just give us a 100%. Stop the fucking car! Don't fucking do it!
Okay. Fuck, guys, my heart just started, like, racing. I've already watched this way too many times today. And what's about to happen right now is not pretty. If you're squeamish, prepare yourself. This is body cam number 1 of, I believe, 3 different angles that we get from the incident. So, again, I'm going to warn you guys, it gets really graphic here. Like I told you, I can't help but think of my own son in this same situation. And it absolutely terrifies me and breaks my heart that the people we are paying to protect our children are quite literally gunning them down in the streets. Fuck's sake, man. I mean, this stresses me out beyond belief. Incredible. I can't believe this is the world we live in. I'm going to get back to this, you guys. Reminder. Some seriously ugly, graphic, disgusting content about to come up. If you're squeamish, turn your head. But we need to see these things. It's absolutely important. I can't believe it took so long for the police department in Delaware to release this footage, but we're going to move on here.
Don't do it! Do it! Don't do it!
Did you hear this cop soon do it? I'm sorry, I had to pause it. One cop goes, don't do it. Other cop goes, do it. Like some angry, Billy, badass, racist, southern piece of shit motherfucker. I swear to God. Okay. Shh. Here we go. Playing again.
Shots fired. Shots fired.
Gonna move on to angle number 2. If you're still with us, guys, this is, again, graphic content. The incident that happened September 13th in Delaware when police approached a sleeping man minding his own business out front of his mother's house in his car. Literally poked him with a stick, mentioned the weed in his vehicle, and told him to get out. You'll notice again, the beginning of the video, the sound is redacted. I'm really curious as to what kind of awful things these officers are saying right now. I mean, why would you send out a 15-minute video and redact the beginning?
Don't move.
If you aren't hiding something, it's ridiculous.
Sleeping, we're trying to talk to you. Rod?
Yeah, what's up, Corporal County Police?
Huh?
We saw Corporal County Police. We saw you sleeping in here, man.
My mom lives right here. All right, relax.
Making sure you're all right, man.
We're just talking to you. Bro, my mom lives right here. Why are you walking us like?
Just relax, all right?
Just relax, you poke me with a fucking stick.
My mom lives right here.
All right, well, we're just out here, man, looking for stolen cars. We see you sleeping, and you got weed sitting right there.
So
We
you're
thought,
sleeping,
we
you
make
think I
contact,
stole
make
a
sure you're
car?
all right.
Bro,
I got weed.
My car not stolen.
Nobody said it was. We just said that's
We're
why
out there
we're
looking.
here.
That's why we're out here. We're looking for stolen cars.
All right,
Okay?
bro. My mom lives right here.
No problem.
Why?
Dude, don't resist. Just cooperate. Okay, this is gonna be very easy. Just
He's
cooperate.
sitting there. I don't see him resisting. He has not been told he's being
all
detained
it
yet.
Okay, if that's all it is, that's all
No
it is.
worries, man. Hop out, my buddy. Dude, just relax. Whoa, don't leave.
Don't do it.
Dude, don't leave it. Don't leave. Don't leave.
Now, right there, you guys, he has every right to leave. He's not being detained. You have the right to leave peacefully if you are not being detained. This is an absolute, God's honest fucking truth. Don't ever let anybody tell you differently. You guys, make sure you share this. People need to see what's going on. This family lost their entire ass human being. The entire person. All of him. Gone. Forever. Not coming back. Police. People who are supposed to protect you.
Vehicles fleeing from us. Backing up. Shots fired. Shots fired. Shots fired.
Ugh. We're moving on to the third angle right here, guys. I'm sorry. I know this is not at all easy to watch. This is so this is so shitty. I still want to know what these guys were saying in the beginning here. I want to know why myself and Blah out with a suspicious vehicle. Give us 10 for... This guy's redacted again. Says stop the fucking car. Don't fucking do it. Don't do it.
Shit.
And that guy was muted. Why? I don't know.
Dispatch.
Shots fired.
We'll be on Rosemont. It's dead end here.
His mercy's sake. So this goes on and shows multiple
Are you walking
angles.
up like?
You don't need to
Back just to confirmation. If you guys do want to see the entirety of the video, just head on over to platoon420.com. I believe it's still the top story, but you will see this graphic here paying homage to Lymond Moses, who was gunned down by police on a dead-end street after they chased him for having weed on him and standing up for his rights. That's what happened. And that's not the only victim, you guys. Just a few days ago, Marvin David Scott, who was arrested for less than 2 grams of weed, died in internment. Coroners have not yet released the cause of Mr. Scott's death. Police, of course, are looking into their friends who just killed somebody, or, you know, whatever this ends up being. But here we are. This is the free America that you live in. And if you're not disgusted by now, there's some problems with you. Like lots and lots and lots of issues with you. I actually, you know what? I don't know if I can show it or not. I actually got in an argument with somebody over this who claims to be a cannabis activist. I've never worked personally with this person. And I believe, actually, let me check. I think this is a private group. If it's not, I'll be more than happy to share. But if this is a private group, of course, nothing without consent. But let me double check here real quick. Content not available. Of course not. Okay, yeah. So it is a private group, so I'm not going to share this person's name. However, it was kind of a big deal that this person who claims to be a cannabis activist was saying basically that this man deserved to lose his life. I mean, that's where he was going with this. He's, you know, oh, you shouldn't have run from the police. Like, well, you know, running away from the police and walking away from the police because you have a right to are two very, very different things. I mean, this is like cannabis and heroin, right? They're not even on the same level with each other. If you do head on over to platoon420.com, you can see our take on it here. I can't, like 2020 wasn't bad enough. Now we've got literally, and there was another girl in Jersey, I believe, that got picked up for heroin and released like after a week. And she was found dead in an alley with her hands and feet bound. Nobody knows what happened there. I'm going to assume that police probably let her out on the street by herself. She had no transportation, no money, no nothing. And, you know, she fell victim to the circumstance she was put in because she was picked up for peacefully doing a substance, you know, and not hurting anybody. If you head on over to platoon420.com, you can see the article. Body cam footage released of Lymond Moses murder. Delaware body cam Body cam footage has been released, revealing the events leading up to the murder of 30-year-old Lymond Moses in Wilmington by police in January. Moses was sleeping in his vehicle outside of his mother's house on January 13th when around 1 a.m. he was approached by officers who used force to gain access to his vehicle. When they indicated they would be using force to remove him, Moses drove from the scene. Moses' sister, LaShawna Nix, said in a statement to the community, quote, "My brother did not have those officers in harm's way. This is murder. It was no accident. It was murder. They knew what they were doing, so please help me and my family get through this. That's all we want is justice." Family's attorney, Amika Igwe, noted the peculiarity in the missing audio at the beginning of the footage, questioning why there needed to be a 15-minute video if the entirety of it was not there. Igwe requested that police, quote, "release the whole video unedited without your commentary that has the whole audio from the beginning to end," unquote. That video is redacted. There is audio that shows the whole interaction from the very beginning. I cannot help but notice that the audio of the officers when they first approached the vehicles is missing, and the audio exists somewhere. Of course it does. Following Moses' murder, Newcastle police initiated a vicious propaganda campaign alleging that Moses attempted to run officers over with his vehicle. Following the release of the footage, it is clear that none of this was the case. The family and community are calling for the termination of the officers involved. So far, Newcastle police have refused to release the names of the officers involved. Moses' wife, Amanda Spence, said he was genuine and loving. Only the characteristics of people who know him would say that. So, Lymond Moses, POW, KIA of the drug war. This is the free America that we live in. You know what? Dab hits to this. Absolutely dab hits to that. There's no reason. I don't dab often, but I got this cute little it's actually, I don't know if you can see it. It's actually BB-8. I didn't know that. I just thought it was like this clever shape and design. But it's actually BB-8. So we're going to a little dab will do ya. What do I got here? Ecto Cooler Batter. I want to know what you guys think. Oh, shoot, I got some comments to catch up on. Oh, Kim Fogelman, family member of a victim of prohibition, a POW. We're all victims of prohibition one way or the other. Says that. Sad face. Kim, I'm so glad that Adam did not fall victim to that. I'm so glad that he's here. Actually, Kim, I'd like to have you and Adam on the show next week if you're available, and if not, we'll schedule it out. But if you guys can do that, I want to catch up with you and see how you're doing, what it's like, you know, renormalizing back into the world that you didn't want to leave to begin with. Alicia Roberts, thank you for all you do. Oh, Alicia, thank you. You're amazing. Love you know. Let me know what, if anything, I can do to help. Well, Alicia, we are looking for contributors at Platoon 420 all the time. If you have a voice and you want to speak out for these victims through your keyboard, hit me up at info@platoon420.com. That offers extended to anybody who is passionate about outreach and making a change. And we're also looking for volunteers for the 51st annual Smokin' at the White House that's happening high noon, Independence Day. And we actually got the permit extended, so not only are we in front of the White House this year, but we get to be out front of the Lincoln Memorial, too. This event is an event that's been approved by D.C. Park Police, Homeland Security. Everybody knows we've been there. I'm going to have to chat with the boys in blue before the events get underway, and we, in a grand pre-approved act of civil disobedience, will be able to smoke marijuana without the fear of persecution. Independence Day, right there on the White House lawn. This is the 51st year this has happened, you guys. Like, that's for real. That's a real thing. This is the longest running demonstration for cannabis rights, and we do not intend to slow down, especially after what we heard about Biden following staffers. And now we've got men in Delaware getting gunned down by police, guys dying in prison over this shit. Enough is enough. Shit can't stand. And we let it happen by being quiet. That's the thing. You and me, all of us, if we're not saying something about it, we're letting it happen. You guys hear that through the speaker? Oh, mercy. Whew. Lymond Moses. That one is for you. That's where I wear these, someone calls smart-ass shirts every day. Smoke weed. And the Fed. End police brutality, right? End nonviolent crime laws. End a world where we see a 60% prison population that's filled of nonviolent offenders who never created a victim. I actually talked to somebody who spent their time in and out of juvie hall because their dad was a drunk, basically, and always called the cops on him. But he was in there for like a 90-day sentence or something. It was fairly short. But he was in there with a kid that was in there for like a year because he got caught fishing without a license. So that kid's life got ruined over a fishing license. That's the lengths they'll go to. And that's why it's so important to be loud about these drug wars. We need to end them. We need to end these laws. We need to free our citizens. And until we do, this will be the biggest excuse for the use of systemic racism. And we get a big problem now, guys. You know, and since all the demonstrations, you know, is it getting better or worse? I just talked about 3 people who died after police involvement over a substance in 3 days. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube. This is real important because it cost me a lot of those green paper rectangles to make sure that I can stream on YouTube, and I can only do it so much. But once we get up to 1,000 subscribers, and fuck, there's like 7,000 of you online collectively. Once we get, you know, 1,000 of you over to the page, I can save some money and dump it into other things for the cannabis community. You know, like weed for the 51st annual Independence Day smoking at the White House. Make sure you're there if you're on the East Coast. If you're not on the East Coast and you want to head on over with an amazing convoy, make sure to check out the gathering in the buses. They are heading to D.C. 30 days, whistle-stop style, on the southern route up through Florida, on the East Coast, I believe, to D.C. And, of course, make sure you subscribe on YouTube. I just said that. Jesus Christ. We're going to do one more dab. You guys got anything to say? Now is your last chance to say it, because I am fixing to GTFOH. Get the fuck out of here. It's beautiful today. I went up to Pikes Peak. I went 2/3 of the way up Pikes Peak because there's so much snow on the ground that it was closed 2/3 of the way up. Safety first, I suppose. This broadcast was specifically to show that footage, that body cam footage of the cold-blooded murder of Lymond Moses. I do hope that his family receives justice. Obviously, I'll be following this as closely as I can. If you guys hear anything, dude, I am so easy to reach. Are you ready? Get a pen. 434-234-7880. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to say that again. Ooh, this is so delicious. 434 234 7 880. Oh, you know what? I can pop that up on the screen for you. That's the Freedom Hotline. If you guys have any tips for me, give me a call, text me. You can email me too. That's fine. info@platoon420. So 434-234-7880. That's the Freedom Hotline, the Freedom phone. And I spell phone with an F because it's cooler with freedom and phone, you know. But I'll be completely honest with you. I suck at answering phone calls. But if you leave a message, I'll always call you back. I am pretty decent at answering texts. So if you want to text me, go ahead and do that. Or again, there's the good new fashioned. I guess the phone number is the old fashioned. The good new fashioned. Email info@platoon420.com. That's how you get a hold of me. If you have any tips, if you want to get involved. Everybody who's helped over the years has worked on a 100% volunteer basis. Even myself, I fizzle out from time to time. A revolving door is absolutely expected when it comes to outreach and, you know, effective activism. And I thank everybody who's helped me over the years. Actually, this story, Lizzie Gulab of Delaware Normal brought this to my attention. So Lizzie, thank you so much for alerting me to this. Thank you also for your assistance in the organization of the 51st annual Smokin' at the White House. Man, that's going to be a great time. By the way, we did get confirmation from Park Police the other day that all those pesky fences and stuff that they've put up, they will absolutely, beyond a shadow of a doubt, be down for our event. Even if they are still up, they will take them down for the July 4th event. For July 4th in general, maybe. So make sure you're there. I'm hitting about the 40-minute mark. Again, this was just a quick special because we've got another victim of prohibition whose family will never see him again. Making his family members victims of prohibition, even if they weren't involved. It's very sad. Oh, Ricky put his phone number out there. Thanks. Oh, Ricky, that's my phone number. Thanks for typing that out for everybody. I appreciate you, Ricky. Kim says, thanks for all you do. I'll get Adam. I know he's going back to Michigan house hunting. Awesome. I'll probably be coming through that part of the country, Kim, in the late summer. I mean, I think after DC, I'm going to head to nicer climates and see those northern states that, I never really got to see while the weather is nice. Let's see. Carrie Thyman says, thank you for all you've done. You guys are just like, you're showering me. I appreciate it, and I'm totally humbled. But thank you for watching, and thank you for following, and thank you for engaging in this conversation. I feel like a broken record sometimes. I also feel like I'm preaching to the choir sometimes, but I know that you guys are going out and you're empowering your community to knock it off with the, what is it called, that syndrome when you sympathize with your abusers? Stop sympathizing with your, stop accepting the behavior that we've grown up with. Stop accepting the fact that, well, he shouldn't have been driving around with 2 pounds of weed. Wait, why? Is 2 pounds of weed somehow more dangerous than 2 ounces of weed all of a sudden, or 2 grams for that matter? You're telling me that it's okay to approach somebody with a fucking gun and threaten their life over a plant or even a substance? I don't even care if it's a hard drug. You guys, we want these people to get through their addiction problems. We don't want them dead. We don't want them slowly dying in a cell, right? We want them to be productive members of society again, not gunned down in their cars in a dead-end street in Delaware. Oh, kaboom. Hi, doggy. My Miko mutt just came over and said hi. You guys can't see. So no, I really appreciate Carrie, Kim, Alicia. You guys, thank you for sharing and getting involved in the conversation. The only way we're going to... Look, Congress has all the information they need, right? They've got the scientific studies. They've got... they got peer reports. They've got medical stuff coming out of Israel and Russia and everywhere else on the planet except for here. They've got, 2/3 of the nation with laws. And they know if it's okay or if it's not. The reason they're not doing anything about it is because we're not being loud enough about it. And when I say we, I don't mean we who are watching. I mean we, the collective people. We really just think it's not a big deal. It's a really big deal. People are dying. Lights out, angel wings, float up into the cloud. They're dying over weed. Carrie Thyman says, Maryland's not passing much this year. Hopefully employee rights and workman's comp will pass next year. Along with home growth for medical and adult recreational bills were written, but legislators need some serious education. Carrie, back in 2017 and 18, when I was working with Normal as director of outreach, we lobbied and testified on all of those similar bills that were crying for the same things. And it breaks my heart to know how hard the team at Maryland Normal, a lot of the people that were there when I was with them are still there. But to know how hard that those people work, and we're still here 18, 19, 20, 21, 3 years later, just trying to allow patients to grow their own medicine because maybe they can't afford the dispensary, or maybe because growing is something that's therapeutic for them, or maybe because Maryland, it's none of your business why people are growing, and Delaware, it was none of your business why Lymond Moses was asleep in his car. This has got to stop. Carrie, I hope things get better in Maryland. I've always got my eye on that. And I'll see you guys this summer. So make sure you come to D.C. and say hi to me. If you can't make it to D.C., I'm sure there's going to be some ancillary associated event in Maryland. Actually, I'd like to have a show. I'd really like to get the Record Theater rented out or somewhere. I got to think of a good place. I'd really like to have some music the weekend before the smoke-in somewhere in Baltimore. Fina's watching, and the drug war, drugs won. Release the POWs. Yeah, dude, it's disgusting. You're right. The drugs did win, didn't they? They're, did the drugs win? The drugs have nothing to win. I get that. I've heard that saying. I co-sign, but, the drugs have nothing to win. I think systemic racism won in terms of the drug war. If anything, for definite, the people lost. I mean, that goes without saying. Parched, you guys. Carrie, back to Maryland. We're trying here. It's been tough. They had to see my gal C's in session to get the school bill passed. My son emailed that he wanted to grow so we had more money for Nerf and RC cars. Oh, poor boy. Somebody seized right there in the hallway, and that's what it took. I can imagine that they could have even said no after that. Yeah, I'm glad that you're watching and commenting, Carrie, because this incident's about Delaware, which hits so close to home in Maryland. I lost my partner because of a Pennsylvania court system or police. He got put in jail for 2 grams of weed and got ripped off pharmaceuticals that he couldn't get back on, and lost his life. So Maryland, PA, West Virginia, that whole little clump, y'all got some fucking problems. Man, now you're gunning people down in dead-end alleys. Roger Sanchez is watching. He says, it's insane what's still going on in this country. We've legalized marijuana here in Maine, and everything is fine. These are barbaric policies of the state that can't go away fast enough. Cars aren't crashing into each other. Reefer madness hasn't happened. Enough is enough. Roger, you're right. And actually, I don't hear a lot out of Maine. You're right, Roger. I almost feel like I've been challenged. Like I should try to start looking for stories out of Maine. So I'm going to be doing that in the coming days. Really, you guys, I just wake up in the morning and over coffee search these stories, and it's so emotionally draining sometimes, but it's so important to me that this information get out, because the media is portraying these people, these victims, to be the criminals, and it's simply not the case. So I'm trying to do my best. Again, the War Room airs live on YouTube and Facebook Wednesdays. Time subject to change. Fun story, on the 31st, I will be broadcasting the War Room live from the tattoo chair at Illuminati Tattoo in Las Vegas. If you're in the Las Vegas area, come by, man. I don't mind if y'all watch me get my tattoo. I'm getting the weed plant finished here. Hold on, let me psych. That's for another show. I don't know how well you guys can see that in the camera, but yeah, 31st, getting that finished, that beautiful cola, to remind me what I'm fighting for. Unfortunately, remind me what people are dying for. What else? Where was I going with that? Oh yeah, War Room live on Wednesdays, and then about 2 hours after the live broadcast, which is where you can tune in and put your 2 cents in, just like Kim, Fina, Carrie, and Roger did today. You can listen to the War Room on your favorite podcasting station while you're going to work or driving to a rally or sitting in the park. Turn it up real loud, you guys. Let everybody hear what you're listening to. Let everybody hear this voice of the victims, me, you, us communicating the way that we are, sharing stories. And you can do that through Stitcher, through iHeartRadio, through Apple Podcasts, through Deezer. I don't know. I'm so like podcast stupid. I can't keep up with all of them. But it's on all of them. And if you go to platoon420.com, click on the War Room tab, you can find the links to all of those beautiful things. Oh, Cosmos, Angie says everyone loves killer autos, but non-toxic super nutrition. All would eat more than smoke if possible. Could grow enough for both. Everyone loves killer autos. Like Maximum Overdrive killer autos are like, yo, that's a killer car. That's cool. Either way, Cosmos, Angie, I agree. We would all be better off if we had safer access to nature. All of it. Period. Even rainwater. I love the meme that's going around with Rick talking. It says if you fill rainwater, if you fill your bong with rainwater, you're double breaking the law. Hear, hear. Cheers to civil disobedience. After all, it's what changes things. It's literally what freed the slaves. It's literally what gave women the right to vote. It's absolutely what ended alcohol prohibition and what started prohibition of alcohol and cannabis. And now we need to stop it. You guys, we need to end this. We need to be loud. We need to tell them to stop killing. We should not be pleading with police officers to stop killing people. I can't even believe this is the world that we're living in. Mercy's sake. We're going to pack this up one more time. I'm going to get on out of here. Again, War Room, live Wednesdays. Generally 4 Mountain or 6 Mountain, depending on when my guests can call in and what's going on that day. The van's in the shop, but we're going to be joining the convoy to D.C. with Stacey Thies and the Cannabis Freedom Tour later this summer. In April, the War Room Raw, which is a members-only feature, is going to air. I'll get into that on a later episode of the War Room. And then we're going to try to do, it's Saturday right now. I don't know. You guys chime in Saturday or Sunday. I want to do a virtual sesh with you guys. Like, I want to make sure there's a dedicated you know, 1 to 2 hours where we can just smoke and talk and chat through the comments, and you can have your voices heard, and we can hear about the weed you're smoking, and fuck, I can invite you on the show. We can split screen. Yeah, we have the technology. So let me know in the comments. I'll look at them later. I don't much care right now. But we're gonna, me and the other end of my red string who was killed by the drug wars. When I say we, that's what I mean, me and Lenny. By the way, named my van Lenny, so always gonna have him with me, which is pretty great. But we're gonna start a weekend AMA sesh. AMA, ask me anything. I'm not even gonna use those initials because everybody else uses them, and that's bunk. That's bunk. All right, 10 more minutes here, guys, and I hate to end it on a sad note, but I'm gonna play this body cam footage again. Why? Because it needs to be shared. I'm surprised how little people have heard about this. Let me get this up here real quick. Pop it over, do the thing with the stuff. Let's make it look pretty. It can't look pretty. I mean, somebody lost their life at the hands of the people who are supposed to be protecting them. Let's make it look pretty. What the fuck am I talking about? That's not even a thing, yo. And you know what? We stopped earlier when they started showing the dual cameras, so we'll start it back up there. Again, the beginning of these videos is, the audio has been redacted for one reason or another, probably because cops are fucking liars, is my guess. But we'll hear some sound in a minute, and it'll get horrifying, and then it'll get more horrifying, and well, I'll just shut up and let you watch these guys poke this sleeping man with a stick, these people who are supposed to protect us. I gotta stop this real quick. Did you hear that? Billy Badass Legs. I'm just gonna pull him out real quick. Are you fucking serious right now? Whoever that little prick was, I hope to God he loses his job and can never work on the police force again. Unfortunately, there's this thing called qualified immunity, and he'll probably get away with all this. But did you heard that? You heard that arrogant prick say, I'm just gonna pull him out of the car right now, as if he thinks he has the right. He absolutely does not. He absolutely does not. I can't wait to have a lawyer on here later in the season to explain y'all's rights to you. I promise you that I will do that. Oh, you know what? It's gonna be Pop Brothers at Law. I'm gonna make that happen for you. I'm gonna shut my mouth and let this finish. Just we don't give a shit. Then leave me the fuck alone, yo! Christ's sake. He has every right to leave right there. FYI. Again, folks, this is the night Lymond Moses lost his life because officers chased him over weed. Listen to what these cocky bastards have to say. This sucks. I'm gonna probably stop it because you're gonna piss me off. Like you don't know your job? Several months. High standards. Well, I can tell you guys right now it wasn't. No, I'm not a lawyer. But I am the daughter of a cop who also could have had a better quality of life toward the end of his life if it weren't for prohibition laws and his association with the police department. A police officer father who was disgusted with the systemic racism, bullying, and harassment that he saw on the streets of Baltimore. He made it through retirement and went on to serve his community as a security guard at the hospitals where he could actually serve his community instead of bullying people. He made sure that his daughter knew her rights so that she wouldn't so easily fall victim. And, you know, for so long in my life, I took for granted that people don't learn this in school, and it's really important that that we know these things. I'm kind of disgusted with the fact that, you know, we're paying these police officers to protect us and they're killing us. And we're also paying the public school system to teach our children, and they're not even teaching them their own rights. So a lot of things need to change. This is why there are so many grassroots groups out there. And they need a voice. They need you to watch. They need you to share their content. They need you to share their stories. They need you to be loud. They need you to interrupt your family dinner and say, hey, did you know that back in 2020, a little girl got shot dead in no-knock raid? Three-year-old little girl. That never made national news for some reason. Did you know that Lymond Moses lost his life because officers decided they wanted to wake him up on the side of the road because he had weed in his car, and then they shot him? We need to talk about this shamelessly, loudly, and proudly on behalf of the people that are being victimized and criminalized. Enough is enough, guys. Can't do it. Can't do it anymore. I'm going to hop on out of here. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sorry that the content wasn't bright and cheery. Hopefully this week we can have Adam and Kim Fogelman on for some good news. I want to hear Adam's story, of course, and Kim, I want to hear it from your perspective. There's a lot of groups out there that are giving the direct victims, the POWs, a platform so their actual stories can be heard, and I love that. But it occurred to me that we're not hearing from the families, like the residual victims of these laws. So Kim, I would like to hear from you the both of you, so that we can hear a story of inspiration. It looks like you guys are doing everything you can with the help of your community and your family to get life back to normal, and it's so inspiring that I would love to talk to you about it and to hear about it and to hear how you're pulling it off. It's so hard to stay positive after getting out of a 8x8 cell, 8x12. How lucky your community jail is for you. So yeah, again, sorry for the the graphic, icky content, but it needs to be shared. Make sure you guys share this on your wall. I didn't broadcast from YouTube today. I decided to broadcast, and I only get 3 channels because I'm not made of money. And this is all out of my own personal expense here. Oh, by the way, speaking of not being made of money and personal expenses, when you head on over to platoon420.com, we got some pretty cool new merch. I'm just saying. And a bikini. There's like a, you see this right here? Hold on. Can I point my finger to the, look at that. It's a weed bikini. I've got one coming in the mail. I can't wait to show it off. Summer's almost here. No, but I can only stream from 3 platforms today. I did my personal page. You guys seem to tune in there a lot. Although, by the way, I can't see your comments on my personal page. Cannot see your comments from Joey Lee. If you want to talk, we've got to do it from G.I. Mary Jane, either on Facebook or YouTube. Generally, in terms of the War Room. Today, I broadcast from personal page G.I. Mary Jane and Platoon 420. I haven't done a lot of broadcasting from Platoon 420, and I'd like to start doing that again. I'd like to start broadcasting other people's platforms and podcasts from Platoon 420 so that we can really maximize each other's outreach in 2021. So if you have a podcast and you're interested, make sure you hit me up at info@platoon420. You can also reach me on the Freedom Phone, 434-234-7880. Data rates may or may not apply. Leave a message. Text is even better, or info@platoon420.com. I am the Commander-in-Chief. We are all soldiers in this drug war. And if you're a soldier and you're being quiet in the tank, you're not helping to advance things. If you're being directly involved, like those of you watching and listening right now, then you are. And I thank you. And this is our year. This is our year to come together as a collective and change things for the better. And I know we can do it. So remember, pass joints, not judgment. We're all in this together.
I'm the Commander-in-Chief, and I approve this message. Visit platoon420.com today and take the pledge. I will stand tall in the face of tyranny for the best interest of myself and my community. I denounce the archaic drug laws that have made victims of people they were written to protect, and I will not support any legislation that regulates what a person puts in their body.